Om Brahmanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadarsham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Nama. I bow down to the great Sadashiva Bramendra, whose Samadhi is here, and with whom I have some connection. I don't want to discuss it because it is a little embarrassing. So unfortunately I cannot and my Tamil is not developed enough to have a satsang. கொஞ்சம் பேசலாம், சத்சங்கெல்லாம் பட முடியாது, அதனால் அவ்வளோதான் தமிழ் எனக்கு தெரியுது. Once more I must also thank the princess of Pudukkottai, the Maharaja of Pudukkottai, Maharani of Pudukkottai, and all the trustees of this temple who are here for inviting me here. So, the princess was talking about a Telugu Brahmin family who lived in Madurai and who had a child who became Sadashiva Bramendra. I want to elaborate a little bit upon this because it's to do with Japa. People say, we are doing Nama Japa. We asked them, how many times do you do Jnana? Oh, what 108 times, 2 times a week, 3 times a year, and so on. And then they say nothing is happening. What do you expect to happen? I want to elaborate on this wonderful biography of Sadashiva Bramendra. That is true. A Telugu Brahmin devout family lived in Madurai. Until very late they did not have a child. The reason being that the husband was so involved in the study of the scriptures and in the practice of yoga and dhyana, and I think also Sri Vidya Upasana, that he had no time or inclination to have a child. So one day his wife, every time I say wife it is thankfully my wife is not here. So whenever she asked him, it is the dharma of a married couple to have a child. When are we going to have a child? He used to kind of, okay, we'll think about it. One day she said to him that you are a great yogi, devout person, and I am a good wife. If we are together, what a wonderful combination it would be. I am sure that a great Paramahamsa would come into my womb. Then he said, okay, I agree with you, we will work out a plan. I will give you a Rama mantra to chant. The mantra must be chanted every day, regularly. So every time you chant the mantra, start from the morning and keep chanting until, even when you are doing your household work, let the chant go on inside. Even when you are about to sleep, the last thought in your mind should be the mantra. The morning when you wake up, the first thought that would occur in your mind is the mantra. So, you do that for some time. I trust you completely. You tell me when this is achieved. Then we will have a baby. She agreed. So she started, so husband was the guru. He gave her the mantra and she chanted the mantra. Many months passed, 1.5 years passed. One day she said to him, I think I have achieved it. What? The first thing I remember when I wake up is a mantra. The last thing I remember before I go to sleep is the mantra. In my dreams, I chant the mantra. When I sleep, the chanting is going on. Even I remember that I am chanting in Sushupti, in deep sleep. So I think I have achieved the Siddhi of the mantra. In my own humble way, I say so. You accept it or you don't. And the husband smiled and said, I think you have done it now. So then they had a child. And that child is the great Paramahamsa, Sadashiva Bramendra. So I think here was a soul waiting to come into a womb, but was not sure if it could come into a particular womb. And then when it found that this is the right place to appear, came inside. So 2 points to be noted. 1. Japa is not a hobby. Not because sometimes it is nice to, that's also okay. It's better than not doing anything at all. But real japa gradually develops into ajapa. When you're not even opening your mouth, the japa goes on inside you. Until you reach a state when all the 3 states of Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupti, the mantra is on. When the mantra is on that way, then you become the Siddha of that mantra, and a whole new world is open to us. From our point of view, if you also read the works of great teachers, including Sadashiva Bramendra, from our point of view, this world that we see and function in, as long as it lasts, it is real. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long. It's here today and gone tomorrow. And that gone tomorrow, nobody can say when. We like to think, now I'm only 50, 60, so not my age, I'm 50, 60. And maybe when I become 80, 90, then I will die and so on. Nobody knows. Death is always our companion. I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture, but it is true. Any time people just drive, say, I just go for a drive and come back, and they don't come back. Many do, some don't. So life is such a thing that we are not sure of when death is going to strike. Yama is always waiting. Like Nachiketa said, can you tell me, is there something where I'll never see your face? In the Kathopanishad. But the good news is, which is what all the great Paramahamsas, all the great teachers have said, all the Vedantists have said, all the Bhaktas have said, that inside every human being, this is the good news, that inside every human being, there is a spark of that divine. The completeness that is outside, from which this whole universe has come, which is the supreme reality called Brahman, also called Purna, is also in us, but clouded by the fact that our minds are disturbed and distracted and always running behind ordinary little things. So we are not able to find it, but it's very much there. Now, that doesn't mean that as soon as you say it, theoretically you have found it. There are ways and means to go, the path is long, it's not, there are no shortcuts, and yet, if you live in this world and function in this world and follow certain ground rules, I'm not for, everybody cannot take sannyas. If you follow some ground rules, it is possible for you to move towards the reality which is all-pervading, which the Upanishads have described as Isha Vashyamidam Sarvam. There is no place where it is not. And yet we don't see it, even though it is inside us. Therefore, from this, the corollary is every human being is a walking, talking, moving temple of the divinity. And from our point of view, Even though my parampara is Kriya, I also have a parampara which is Sri Vidya. All the great acharyas, from Adi Shankara onwards, have been pure Vedantins and yet have been worshippers of the Devi, Sri Vidya. It's very interesting. Even though they preach the supreme reality and Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya and so on, the path to it for them is through the worship of the goddess of knowledge. What is Sri Vidya? Vidya is knowledge. The knowledge, the understanding that inside every one of us there lives an energy in female form, which in the Mooladhara or base of the spine resides as the Rajarajeshwari. And through proper sadhana, through proper understanding, it's possible to awaken this energy which is residing in the Mooladhara and take her up through the narrow path up on to the Sahasrara, where resides Shiva in his splendor. When both of them meet, that is called the ecstasy of beauty, Soundarya Lahiri. So it is the same Shankara who wrote the interpretations of the Brahma Sutras, Karikas on the Brahma Sutras, and the Karikas on Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, and the Viveka Chudamani, and a number of books which within the short period I don't know who could have done it. Yet, he was the same person who wrote the Soundarya Lahiri. Now in the Soundarya Lahiri, the entire Sri Vidya mantra is hidden. One who knows the key can just take it out from there, chant it. So what is it? It is, we can't discuss more than that here like this publicly, but it's a combination of certain sounds which are called Vijaksharas. Generally, in satsangs we don't take up this subject. I am sitting here in the samadhi of Sadashiva Bramendra. So I am saying this, that there are sounds, Vijaksharas, in a certain combination, which when coupled to the different centers of your body, which are called the Padmas, and properly utilized through various means, this energy, which is usually gross, is converted to subtler and subtler energies till it goes back to its Lord, which is Shivam. Only when this happens, one has the authority to say Shivoham, not before that. Before that, it is always better to say Om Namah Shivaya. Not before that. Only a great person who has touched that, whose energies have come to the Sahasrara, who has understood and realized this as the unity of both, can really say Shivoham, which is why Adi Shankara in the Nirvana Shataka said Chidananda Rupam, Shivoham, Shivoham. Till then, it's wiser to stick to Om Namah Shivaya. Because on the negative side, it might increase our ego and think that we are the Brahman. But in day-to-day life, it is not so. So, in fact, it's only when I am not there that the Supreme Reality is there. It is me who is not allowing the Supreme Being to be present. Me, I. Not the big I, but the small I, we have the little eyes. And this I sometimes becomes so strong that it thinks it is bigger than the Brahman. That is where the problem comes. So if we can reduce it by constantly watching ourselves and seeing how we behave under different situations, different circumstances, then you will know how to handle it. And then you will come across that infinite source of energy which is in all of us, and which when we touch that infinite energy and not allow it to leak through any place, when it stays concentrated and collected in the heart and then descends to the Sahasrara, then you understand that we were living under a great illusion. Okay, let's take it this way. We dream, right? Now in the dream, it's real. Inside the dream, will you believe it is not real while you are dreaming? No. Very real. But when you wake up, you say, oh, that was a dream. There is no tiger anywhere behind me. Correct. The rishis say, just as you didn't believe that it is a dream when you are dreaming, when you are in this big dream of life, if somebody says you are dreaming, you will never believe it. Because, I don't know how can it be, I am experiencing it, is real. Maybe there is a stage when one day you stretch your hands, wake up, yawn and say, ah, what a big dream. That state of waking up from the sleep of ignorance is what is called moksha. Now, it can come only, there are few ways by which we can look at this. One, first we should understand the need for it. If you don't need it, it is okay. Carry on with your life. But if you see life and say, I don't think this is the be-all and end-all of life, there must be something else. You see death every day. You see pain and sorrow every day. You also see that however much you gather, we are not satisfied. We can gather as much as we want, but there is no satisfaction. When we see this and say, is there something that will free us from death? Not physical death, everybody goes. Sadashiva Bramendra also physically went away, which doesn't mean it doesn't exist because he is merged with the Supreme Being. So there is no place where the Supreme Being is not. So he is. That's a different matter. But physically, no. But the inner element in us is a deathless thing, which is the Atman. And it is a spark of the Supreme all-pervading Paramatma. Isn't that a wonderful thing to even understand theoretically? That the origin of the universe is from us, inside us, in a very subtle way. So, when we look at that, and also work towards it, which means to purify the mind. Patanjali said, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which meaning the mind is always distracted, in conflict, running here, running there, many opinions. Should I do Advaita Vedanta? Should I do Vishishta Advaita? Should I do Bhakti Yoga? Should I do Sri? Because if the vrittis or the distractions of the mind can be brought to rest. Now here is something very interesting. There is a beautiful way to rest the distractions of the mind without making it appear so dry. And that is the essence of bhakti. When your mind turns inward in pure devotion, there are no distractions. When you actually drink the Ramarasa, Pibare Ramarasa, Sadashiva Bramendra, then when you drink that, you are so intoxicated, there is no time for distractions. Your mind is calm and quiet and absolutely tranquil. In that state, you discover that you are not this limited being who is a victim of death and birth and all the sorrows of this world. You discover it. For that, you don't have to change your robes, you don't have to change your style, nothing. I keep this because I like this, good hairstyle. But when I go west, young people especially, sir, you look very cute. I say, thank you very much. They don't know it's traditionally there. But anyway, so music, especially beautiful classical music which celebrates the glories of the Lord and the Devi, of course, like Soundarya. this can be a gateway or a bridge to connect you from the ordinary material world to the higher world. When I say music, I mean music that calms the mind, not music that makes you jump up and down and fall down, which is also music, of course. So, music is a great link. So, if you can start with that and say, I have to find the reality, which is God Himself or herself, because the Supreme Reality has no sex. There is no he or she. You can't even say it, because when you say it, then it becomes a material. You can only say that. Now it started again. Ants. So, if one can understand this and move towards it, Japa, Sangita, singing, meditation, and also Swadhyaya, reading the scriptures which talk about this reality. When all these things can be put together, I feel that you can live in this world and yet be not of this world. Possible. Everybody cannot take sannyas. When I told my master, Maheswarnath Babaji, that I want to live like you without getting married, being free, and so on and so forth, drinking the wonderful waters of the Ganga, and so on and so forth. He asked me only one question. First he said to me, 3 years I worked on it, 3 full years. I thought I was making you less self-centered. It looks like you have become so self-centered, you just want to enjoy the Ganga and walk with me, you don't care for anybody. Is this possible? So, I said, Babaji, whatever you say, I'm ready to do, but I don't want to get caught up in this business. Then he said, when you first came to me, I asked you, what do you think about yourself, as far as I'm concerned? What did you say? I said, Babaji, मैं आपका कुत्ता हूँ. I said, I'm your dog. I just sit here and look at you. In those days there was HMV, his master's voice. I said, I just sit like a dog and look at you and you say things. He said, you said that. Yes, I said that. And what did I say? You said, please, you may be my dog, but don't shake your tail too much. Dum zyada mat hilana. I said that? I said yes. Then he said, then don't shake your tail too much. Do exactly as I say. I said, Malayalam, you see the Maharaj, you say Uttara. So I said, whatever. So be it. So here I am. But please remember that the person who is speaking to you, who is with you, who is like your friend, who you sometimes mistake to be a great close friend and so on, is nothing like that. Free. There is a freedom inside which is for all, not for one person. There is nobody intimate. There is one intimate who is my own God. There is no other intimate being for me. And that is the one I live with all the time. And when I speak, it is that which makes me speak. Otherwise, I have no intention to speak. I wish that my Guru had told me, like Sadashiva Bramendra was told by his Guru, why are you keeping on? Look at my state. Wherever I go, people expect me to talk. And I have to go on yapping away. If only he had told me, stop it and put something to stop me, I would have been very happy. So the Great One was not talking to anybody. But not verbally talking does not mean anything. Communication can be without words, because what we are seeking and which we ultimately attain cannot be described by words anyway. Yesterday I told a story in Bharati Vidya Bhavan about Shankara, Adi Shankara, who when he was traveling in Karnataka near Sringeri, a family came and told him that Swami, there is a small boy in our house who is 8 years old and he has not said a single word till now. He is not talking. So maybe if you bless him, then he will start talking. It will be better. So he decided that he would go and see the boy. So he went to the house. There was this boy sitting in a corner of the house like this. So Shankara went to him and close to him and said, "Why don't you talk?" I don't know whether he said it in Sanskrit or Malayalam. Why don't you talk? Or Kannada. For the first time, the boy opened his mouth and spoke. He asked Shankara, about what? About what should I talk? Because the supreme reality cannot be expressed by words, and that is the only truth. Whatever I say, therefore, is a lie. So I prefer not to talk. So Shankara said to him, "Come with me. I was looking for a fellow like you," and took him away. So he named him Hastamalaka. That means one of his prominent disciples, one who held the entire knowledge of Vedanta in his hasta, like an amalka fruit, like a nellika. He called him Hastamalaka. So that is the reality. Dakshinamurti does not speak. Dakshinamurti Stotra. All elder rishis, everybody sit around under the banyan tree and Dakshinamurti sits just with a symbol of the Akashamudra, nothing else. And everybody understands what it means. The symbol of the Akashamudra, simply translated, means, see, when I point out to the outside world, to you, I usually use my index finger, right? I don't do like this. And when I point to myself, it is like this, usually. So when this me and that you are joined together as one, if I see the unity of the truth in everyone as one, then what remains is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Difficult. I always like to be separate. I don't want, although in my attempt for unity, I have biological unity. But I like to be separate. I like to form groups because I want to feel one. But actually in the group also I like to stay. Rotarians know that, lions know that. We like to roar together, but we are always roaring separately. So, what I am trying to say, the one thing I like about the Rotary is, what is that? They have a, what is it? Any? No, there is a sentence for that. Others more than, any Rotarians? No, doesn't matter. Okay. So anyway, yeah, but there is a word, there is a sentence which says, oh, service above self. Got it. So when one begins to think this way, that you and I in true essence are not different, but inside me the Antaryami is also my Antaryami, there is no difference, then there is only Satchidananda that is left. Sat means that which is, Chit is consciousness, and Anandam you all know, happiness, permanent happiness. Happiness which cannot be destroyed by anything, not shaken by anything. So these are some wonderful teachings, and I am very happy to be here, and I would have wished to have keep quiet and enjoy, but I It's a satsang. The microphone is here and I'm supposed to speak. Here many of you have come from far, and if I don't speak, what is this? He's just sitting quiet, going home. So I'm talking, and I'm telling you that this is the essence of the teachings of the great Sadashiva Bramendra. What my link is with him in a personal way is to be read in my second book. The journey continues. I don't want to discuss it here. So, once more, I'm thrilled that you're here and you're enjoying. I suggest that now I will stop yapping for a minute, and then we will sit for 5-10 minutes quietly and meditate, thinking of the ultimate reality which lives in your heart and whose Leela is the world that we see. Can we do that? So, first we will chant Om 3 times and then close our eyes and sit quiet. It will be nice if you chant Om with me. And then in 10 minutes I will certainly wake you up, not to worry, in case you fall asleep. So, what happened? No. I am going to hear the secret that Ganesh told me to tell you. He said, can we extend the meditation till lunchtime? That's what he said. I think we shouldn't bore people too much. We'll do it for 10-15 minutes and then you can go around, sit near the samadhi, enjoy yourself and then go for lunch, whatever time it is. I for one would like to be alone. Selfish aim. So, shall we chant Om? Start. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.